Furl jumped into our conversation. I don't know where he learned how, but he sure as hell can use that thing. But Korea, only use it once. You're up in their face, and you don't have a choice. Don't go rushing up asking for it. Modern warfare is still waged with bullets. Try not to forget. Yes, sir. Yonabaru. I guess the sergeant felt he needed to spread the attention around. Yeah? Just do what you always do. What the hell, Sarge? KG gets a pep talk and I get that. A delicate soul like me needs some inspiring words of encouragement, too. I might as well encourage my rifle for all the good it would do. You know what this is? Discrimination. That's what it is. Every now and again you get me thinking, Yonabaru, Furl said, his voice tinny over the ink. I'd give my pension to the man who invents a way to fasten your... Shit, it started. Don't get your balls blown off, gents. I sprang into battle. Doppler cranked, the usual buzzing in my helmet, just like the other moments. There, a target. I fired. I ducked. A javelin whizzed past my head. Who's up there? You're too far forward. You want to get yourself killed. I pretended to follow the platoon leader's orders. I don't care how many lives you have. If you followed the orders of every officer fresh from the academy, you'd end up getting bored of dying. Thunder erupted from the shells crisscrossing the sky. I wiped sand from my helmet. I glanced at Furl and nodded. It only took an instant for him to realize the suppressing fire I'd just laid down had thwarted an enemy ambush. Somewhere deep in Furl's gut, his instincts were telling him that this recruit named Keiji Korea, who'd never set foot in battle in his life, was a soldier he could use. He was able to see past the recklessness of what I'd just done. It was that sort of adaptability that had kept him alive for 20 years. To be honest, Farrell was the only man in the platoon I could use. The other soldiers had only seen 2 or 3 battles at most. Even the ones who'd survived in the past hadn't ever gotten killed. You can't learn from your mistakes when they kill you. These greenhorns didn't know what it was to walk the razor's edge between life and death. They didn't know that the line dividing the two, the borderland piled high with corpses, was the easiest place to survive. The fear that permeated every fiber of my being was relentless. It was cruel, and it was my best hope for getting through this. That was the only way to fight the mimics. I didn't know shit about any other wars, and frankly, I didn't care to. My enemy was humanity's enemy. The rest didn't matter. The fear never left me. My body trembled with it. When I sensed the presence of an enemy just outside my field of vision, I could feel it crawling along my spine. Who had told me that fear had a way of seeping into your body? Had it been the platoon leader? Or was it Farrell? Maybe it was something I'd heard during training. But even as the fear racks my body, it soothes me, comforts me. Soldiers who get washed away in a rush of adrenaline don't survive. In war, fear is the woman your mother warned you about. You knew she was no good for you, but you couldn't shake her. You had to find a way to get along, because she wasn't going anywhere. The 17th Company of the 3rd Battalion, 12th Regiment, 301st Armored Infantry Division, was cannon fodder. If the frontal assault succeeded, the mimics fleeing the siege would wash over us like the torrent of water surging through a dry gully. If it failed, we'd be a lone platoon in the middle of a sea of hostiles. Either way, our odds of survival were slim. The platoon commander knew it, and Sergeant Farrell knew it. The whole company was pieced together from soldiers who'd survived the slaughter at Okinawa. Who better to give this shit assignment to? In an operation involving 25,000 jackets, if a lone company of 146 men got wiped out, they wouldn't even write a memo on the desk of the brass in the Defense Ministry. We were the sacrificial lambs whose blood greased the wheels of war's machinery. Of course, there were only 3 kinds of battle to begin with. Effed up, seriously effed up, and effed up beyond all recognition. No use panicking about it. There'd be plenty of chaos to go around. Same jacket, same enemy, same buddies. Same me. Same muscles that weren't ready for what I was asking of them, screaming in protest. My body never changed, but the OS that ran it had seen a total overhaul. I'd started as a green recruit, a paper doll swept on the winds of war. I'd become a veteran who bent the war to my will. I bore the burden of endless battle like the killing machine I'd become, a machine with blood and nerves in place of oil and wires. A machine doesn't get distracted. A machine doesn't cry. A machine with the same bitter smile day in, day out. It reads the battle as it unfolds. Its eyes scan for the next enemy before it's finished killing the first. And its mind is already thinking about the third. It wasn't lucky and it wasn't unlucky. It just was. So I kept fighting. If this was going to go on forever, it would go on forever. Shoot, run, plant one foot, then the other. Keep moving. A javelin tore through the air I'd occupied only a tenth of a second before. It dug into the ground before detonating, blasting dirt and sand into the air. I'd caught a break. The enemy couldn't see through the shower of falling earth. I could. There. 1, 2, 3. I took down the mimic through the improvised curtain of dust. I accidentally kicked one of my buddies, the sort of kick you'd use to break down a door when both of your hands were full. I had a gun in my left hand and a battle axe in my right. It was a good thing the good Lord had given us 2 arms and legs. If I only had 3 appendages to work with, I wouldn't be able to help this soldier out, whoever he was. As I turned, I cut down another mimic with a single blow. I ran up to the fallen soldier. He had a wolf wearing a crown painted on his armor. 4th Company. If they were here, that meant we met up with the main assault force. The line was giving way. The soldier's shoulders were trembling. He was in shock, whether it was the mimics or my kick that had sent him into it. I couldn't tell. He was oblivious to the world around him. If I left him there, he'd be a corpse inside of 3 minutes. I put my hand on his shoulder blade and established a contact calm. You remember how many points we beat you by in that game? He didn't answer. You know, the one you lost to 17th Company. What? The words rasped in his throat. The rugby game. Don't you remember? It was some kind of intramural record, so I figured we must have beat you by at least 10, 20 points. I realized what I was doing. You know, it's funny, me talking to you like this. Hey, you don't think she charged me for stealing her idea, do you? It's not like she has a patent on it or anything. What are you talking about? You'll be fine. He was snapping out of it pretty quick. He was no rookie like I'd been. I slapped him on the back. You owe me, 4th Company. What's your name? Kokoro Murata. And I don't owe you shit. Keiji Korea. That's some attitude you got. Not sure I like it. The feeling's mutual. Let's hope our luck holds. We bumped fists and parted ways. I swept my head from left to right. I ran, I pulled my trigger. My body had long since passed exhaustion, but a part of me maintained a heightened sense of alertness, impossible under normal circumstances. My mind was a conveyor belt sorting good apples from the bad. Any piece of information that wasn't vital to survival was automatically shut out.